Fundamentally, perimeter protection gives you that chance, a first line protection of your system. So what we're saying basically is a first line of defense. So if we can see an intruder at the fence or at the border of your estate, it gives you that time window in order to stop anything happening before they actually break into an area which maybe contains valuable equipment. In order to discuss the technologies that can be used on perimeter protection, we have to look at the market. And if we would be so crude as to split the market into three areas, enterprise, professional, and entry, it will all depend, and the important thing to remember is risk. What is the risk? And that depends on a number of things. It depends on actually what we are containing, what we are looking after, and actually from a point of view of security, whether we want to compromise our security or do we really want belt and braces. So examples of those areas would be, for example, in the enterprise, we could be talking about critical national infrastructure, whereby we're looking after a power station where we cannot compromise security. So it will not just be in those circumstances just one technology used, it will be a raft of technologies. And then we move down into what is the professional arena, and there it probably could be a combination of one or two, And then from a point of view at the entry level, we'd be looking at maybe just using one form of technology because the risk is not so great. And because of that, budget obviously comes into it at some point. But we will start with, first of all, talking about the various technologies that we could use at each relevant part of the industry. So at the top end, typically if we were to look at that power station that we are looking after, we would probably have at some point, a fence. And a fence is a good thing because at the end of the day, that slows people up. So typically on a power station, we'd be looking at probably 2 fence lines. And from the fence line we would probably have thermal cameras sweeping out, and it's okay to use thermal cameras for that, looking over other people's property, because you don't recognize someone from thermal cameras. So the thermal cameras will probably have analytics, so they could see from maybe 400, 500 meters, a potential intruder coming towards the property. And we have to appreciate in this typical example, there will be a command and control environment. So what do I mean by that? I mean the use of security guards or potential third party, whereby as soon as we see someone coming towards the fence, they're going to be alerted by a command and control environment. At the point they get to the fence, we can deploy technologies like sensor pads, but also on the fence itself, anybody who climbs the fence or rattles the fence or even tries to cut the fence with snips, that's going to cause an alarm. And at that point, probably everything's going to get lit up like Blackpool illuminations. And typically those components will report back into either a VMS or a BMS, or even on a smaller system, maybe an NVR or DVR, and that would then cause an alarm and maybe go into the intruder alarm system as well. But also from a point of view of picking up images, what we will see is inside the perimeter, we'll have conventional CCTV, PTZs, pan-tilt zoom cameras, and they'll be honing in on presets to where the actual intrusion takes place. An example of the next level would be a car dealer. So again, they'll probably have a fence or a brick wall, good, nice demarcation line, in order that if someone wants to jump over the fence, because even a 5'4" hobbit like me could get over that fence or wall, we have to make sure again that we do protect the perimeter. So again, we'll have a nice early warning system, but typically in this environment, instead of it being command and control, we're probably using the services of an alarm receiving center. And on these sort of sites, we'll typically either use analytics from a camera in combination with maybe detectors, beams, or one of the new technologies that we are starting to be seeing used in this environment is radar or LiDAR. I think with radar and LiDAR becoming more prevalent nowadays is because it offers installers a major advantage over some of the other technologies that maybe have been used before. If we were to take a uniform rectangular building, I could basically put 4 radar LiDAR units which sweep out a 140-degree angle out to about 100 meters, and basically the false alarm rate is absolutely astonishing. It really does cut down the false alarm rates, which is really important if you're using the services of an alarm receiving centre. Equally, people are using a lot more analytics from cameras or from servers because, again, it's a technology that does cut down on installation costs from a point of view of not having to use detectors. You haven't got so much wiring, not so much power supply requirements. So again, it's a great advantage to maybe look at using analytics as well. And at the entry level, which is a growing area now for us because people are obviously wanting to protect their homes, residential sort of systems or small offices, we tend to see there whereby you probably haven't got fences or big walls or things because they don't look that great in houses. So from that point of view, yeah, you tend to find people will revert to detectors or maybe using some form of object analytics within the camera in order to pick up intrusion at the earliest point before they get into your house. So in summary, a PID system really is a proactive way to make sure that an intruder doesn't enter your building, and it's something I think that does get overlooked time and time again. So Norbain work with lots of suppliers who can offer you good solutions on perimeter detection systems. If you'd like to find out more, please visit Norbain on www.norbain.com, or even better, give us a call.